I'm doing my presentation on Andreas Vesalius and how he described hydrocephalus in 1550. So Andreas Vesalius was born in Brussels in 1514 into a family of physicians. His father was a practicing physician and he had many family members who were also pharmacists. He is most famous for revolutionizing how medicine was practiced, and he did so by expanding on human anatomy. He expanded on human anatomy by dissecting actual human cadavers. Before him, human cadavers were only dissected to a point and could not really be well studied. Most human anatomy came from dissection of cats and other animals, so they weren't too accurate. He printed the 7 books on the structure of the human body in 1543. At the age of 28, he was the household physician for Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor at the time. And after fulfilling his life's goal of becoming the royal physician, he went back to his country, married his wife, traveled the world, went on a lot of religious pilgrimages. And originally, Hippocrates came up with the name hydrocephalus, but Vesalius was the one who described it as an accumulation of water inside the ventricles. Now we know that is an accumulation of cerebrospinal fluid in the ventricles, and this puts pressure on the brain. This can lead to severe developmental impairments if left untreated. Different causes are blockages that prevent the cerebrospinal fluid from draining correctly, a decrease in the ability of vessels to reabsorb the CSF, or the brain can simply be overproducing it. Different reasons for this can be birth defects or infections contracted by the mother during pregnancy, for instance, rubella. It can also be caused by head trauma before, during, or after birth, and also by tumors or infections in the central nervous system. Different symptoms include the bulging of the fontanelle, which is the soft spot on the top of the skull, troubles with being alert, remaining alert, a growing head circumference but delayed growth in all other parts of the body, seizures, eyes that are fixed downward, vomiting, and low muscle tone and strength. There are many more symptoms, but these are the most common. And this can usually be diagnosed simply with just observational methods, because it usually is like the most common symptom is a bulging head, but it can also be diagnosed by an ultrasound, MRI, and or a CT scan. So, the brain on the left is an MRI of a healthy brain. The brain on the right is a brain that has severe hydrocephalus, and you can see that with the obviously enlarged black X in the middle. That's the cerebrospinal fluid. Those are the ventricles. So, hydrocephalus can be treated with a VP shunt, which takes the cerebrospinal fluid from the brain and drains it in the abdomen where it can be reabsorbed more readily, or a VA shunt, which is the same process except it drains in the chest cavity. This is the most common treatment, but another treatment is a ventriculostomy, which is a hole in the base of the ventricle allowing for the CSF to drain out, or it can be a hole between 2 ventricles allowing the other ventricle to sort of pick up the slack where the injured ventricle cannot handle draining the CSF. And these are my sources that I used. Thank you.